Dating can be a minefield, especially when you're a Sigma. You're independent, strong-willed, and not someone who likes to follow the crowd. You don't settle for just anyone, and you have high standards, but that can sometimes make it harder to navigate the dating world. It's easy to feel like there's a lot of pressure to be perfect or to meet someone who ticks all the boxes, but in the end, dating should be about connection, understanding, and respect. It's about finding someone who complements your life, not disrupts it. And that's where things can go wrong if you don't stay aware of the pitfalls. So, let's dive into the Sigma's Guide to Avoiding Dating Disaster and how you can make smarter choices in your relationships. First things first, it's important to recognize that not everyone is going to understand your need for independence. You don't need someone to complete you, and that can be difficult for some people to grasp. Some people might be drawn to your confidence, your self-sufficiency, and your ability to stand alone, but they may not understand the space and freedom you need to thrive. If someone starts to pressure you for more time, more attention, or tries to make you feel guilty for needing your own space, that's a red flag. You need someone who respects your autonomy and doesn't try to mold you into their ideal partner. And if you sense that someone is becoming overly demanding or controlling, don't ignore it. Trust yourself and your boundaries, because the right person will embrace the way you are, rather than try to change you. Now, another common mistake that many people make when dating is ignoring the importance of emotional compatibility. Yes, you're independent and you like to keep a certain distance emotionally, but that doesn't mean that you don't need emotional connection. In fact, emotional compatibility is crucial. It's not about constantly being vulnerable or needy, but it's about finding someone who understands and respects your emotional space and can communicate effectively without overwhelming you. If someone constantly tries to push your emotional boundaries or doesn't seem to understand your need for space, it's time to step back. The right person will know when to give you the space you need and when to be there for you without smothering you. Another huge factor to consider is trust. You value trust above all else, and it's important to recognize that not everyone is as trustworthy as you might be. It's easy to assume that others operate the same way you do, but that's not always the case. You've got your guard up, and for good reason, but don't let that make you overly suspicious or closed off to genuine people. However, there are some signs that you should never ignore. If someone's actions don't match their words, or if they're constantly making excuses or hiding things from you, that's a sign that they're not being upfront. Trust your instincts here, because a healthy relationship is built on honesty and transparency. If you can't trust someone, then it's not worth pursuing. No matter how great they seem on paper or how much you like them, trust is essential. And if it's broken, so is the relationship. One of the more challenging aspects of dating as a Sigma is dealing with people who are just in it for their own gain. You're not someone who's easily fooled. But sometimes you might find yourself swept up by someone who seems like a perfect match, only to realize they're not as genuine as they appeared. Whether it's someone who's just looking for validation, attention, or is only interested in what you can do for them. It's important to recognize these red flags early. A healthy relationship is a partnership, not a one-sided transaction. So if someone starts to drain your energy, or seems more interested in what you can offer them rather than what they can bring to the table, it's time to walk away. You deserve someone who wants to build something meaningful with you, not someone who is only there for selfish reasons. The next thing to keep in mind is the danger of rushing into things. Sigma personalities tend to take their time with big decisions, and dating is no different. Rushing into a relationship without taking the time to really get to know someone can lead to disaster. Even if you feel an instant connection, slow down. Be sure that you're not confusing attraction with compatibility. Just because someone seems great on paper doesn't mean they'll be a good fit for your life. Look at the long-term picture. Are your values aligned? Do you communicate well together? Can you respect each other's boundaries? These are the things that will sustain a relationship, not just initial chemistry. So take your time and don't let the pressure of the dating world rush you into something you're not ready for. Another important thing to watch out for is the tendency to ignore red flags because of loneliness or desperation. It's natural to want to find someone who fits into your life, but that doesn't mean you should settle for someone who is not right for you. If you feel like you're forcing a connection or ignoring signs that someone isn't a good match, stop and take a step back. Remind yourself that you're better off alone than with the wrong person. Dating should feel like a partnership, a collaboration, not a game of compromise where you're constantly making sacrifices for someone else. If you're compromising too much or letting things slide just to keep the peace, then that's a sign that things aren't healthy. Don't be afraid to walk away when necessary. One thing that can help you avoid dating disasters is to take responsibility for your own feelings and actions. As a Sigma, you tend to be self-reliant, and you know that you can't change anyone else. But that doesn't mean you should overlook your own behaviors and patterns. Be honest with yourself about what you want and what you need in a relationship. Are you truly ready for something long-term, or are you just filling a void? Recognizing your own emotions and motivations will help you make better choices and avoid falling into a toxic situation. It's okay to take your time and work on yourself before jumping into a relationship. If you're not in the right headspace, then it's better to wait until you are. Dating should never feel like a desperation game. You should feel whole and complete on your own before seeking someone to share your life with. Remember, not every relationship will be perfect, and you're bound to encounter a few bumps along the way. But the key to avoiding dating disasters is to stay true to yourself and your values. Don't let anyone pressure you into compromising too much or bending your boundaries. Don't settle for someone who doesn't respect you or your independence. Stay patient and stay smart, because the right person will come into your life when the time is right. So trust yourself, trust your instincts, and remember that you don't need anyone to complete you. You're already whole, and the right person will see that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share because you will learn tons of information in the next video. Stay safe and stay true to yourself.